I am excited for the holidays, and you shouldn't expect this from someone who worships or loves dragons, who believes in dragons. Because at work or somewhere else, I love to say, oh, it's almost time for holidays, it's almost time for Christmas. But most of the time, the responses are, why are you celebrating Christmas? I mean, this is something for people who love cheese and those people. I said, is it? Truly. It was exactly with Christmas in 2005 that I had the most intense moment of my awakening. That was the moment that the dragon showed me where they are, that I call now the dragon realms, and that was at the time of Christmas. That was the time of Christmas 2005, and I will never forget it, because we celebrate winter solstice at this moment, and winter solstice is very important for your draconic energy. Because now, especially at winter solstice, when the longest night of the year, this is actually a night of energy, a night of spirits, a night of open gates. This is a night that is very important for us. But there is actually more to it. Actually, what people just don't realize and what they seem to forget is the Christmas story. The Christmas story is not about religions, it's not about Jesus, it's not about the birth of him. If Jesus was born, it would have been in September, and that is what everyone agrees on in science. So, why do we celebrate the birth of Jesus on a totally different date? Because if you see, like it's just like the same as Halloween, um, religions, or in this case, Catholicism, did a, a day for Catholics themselves, just a day after or 2 days after the celebration of paganism. It's just like Halloween, they needed something else for for winter solstice, and so Christmas was born. So they needed to follow this one and forgot about the true meaning of celebrating in the winter. But like I said, there is much more to it. The story. Where does the dragon involve themselves inside of the Christmas story? Well, actually, this story is not that large. It's very simple. Just how Christmas should have been. Now, these days, Christmas is not that simple anymore. It has to be wealthy and light, and so it has to cost a lot of money. But in fact, through the true Christmas, in this case, through winter solstice, is about this story. Why do people actually take their tree inside of their house? It's just weird if you think about it, but not if you hear the story of it. The Christmas story is actually from thousands and thousands of years ago in ancient Europe, somewhere here where I live, here in Belgium, the Netherlands, England, Ireland, France, Germany. These were the places where this was first celebrated, to take a tree inside of their homes. And why did they do this? Because at the coldest night of the year, the longest night of the year, people here had had compassion for the spirits that live inside of the tree. Sometimes when it snowed, they saw this glittering light as spirits inside of the tree, and they felt bad for it, very very bad. And all of these spirits just, yeah, you can say that they saw the dragon inside of these trees. But not only the dragon, always spirits. So it means the dragon, but also other spirits that were always clamping on this tree, out of cold, out of, yeah, because they are one with this tree, but also it's very cold. So the people thought, well, if we take this tree inside, then maybe these spirits could warm themselves up. It's an act of kindness. They saw it as an act of kindness. They didn't need anything in return, because it was just becoming tradition to take the tree inside of their home so that the spirits can warm themselves up. And not only that, once it was inside, they put all of the food that they had, like apples, inside of the tree. So they were giving um, these spirits food food so that they can also eat while they warm up. It was like I said, Christmas, the true story of this, where they take the tree inside, was actually an act of kindness. And people seem to forget that this is in fact the real Christmas story. Like we would do if we would see the spirit of the dragon clamping on themselves on this tree that they take inside of the longest night of the year, 21st of December, the true holiday, I should say, because this is the darkest night of the year. This is when we should care for others. This is also what this story is saying. We should care for others. We should care as well for those who are less fortunate. We don't have a home. In this case, in this story, it was the spirits of the forest. Because back in the day, sorry, back in the day, when people lived here, there were forests everywhere. Of course, everywhere was dark, and they saw these little lights inside of the tree when it snowed most of the time. These little lights inside of the tree as the spirits of the forest, the spirits inside of the tree. And the decoration was in fact the apples that they were giving to the spirits. It's a simple story, very simple, and you can say you can involve the dragon inside of this because in that moment, in that day, so many thousands of years ago, they believed in the dragon. They believed in the dragon gods, especially here in ancient Europe. They believed in them, so they were seeing the spirits inside of the tree just as well as little dragon spirits inside of this tree. And in an act of compassion, they gave them food and warmth that night, the night of winter solstice. That is what we actually truly celebrate now. And that has a lot of energy. It has a lot of power because this is a major time in nature, a major change in nature, that from the darkest days we now turn into the light. That is what we truly celebrate on the holidays.